Hi, welcome to the online support from Life Education for IELTS. My name is Anita Sudarshan and today I shall be presenting to you some tips regarding the IELTS writing module with specific reference to the essay part of the IELTS exam. Whether you are an academic module or general module, there is an essay to write for the IELTS exam. The main thing you have to remember is it's a 40-minute task where you're supposed to produce at least 250 words. The upper limit is not mentioned for this task. So to produce 250 words, many students struggle regarding how to create points for the essay. So that part is actually one of the marking criteria for the IELTS exam. In fact, there are 4 aspects on which the person who corrects your answer sheet, the examiner, evaluates you. These are the task response, vocabulary range, coherence and cohesion, and your grammatical accuracy. I'm right now not elaborating on vocabulary range, CAC and grammar. These 3 words in this kind of short form would be there in that real IELTS answer sheet when you actually go for the exam. So below your answer sheet, there is this space with columns TR, VR, CNC, GRA, based on which the examiner gives you a score, an average is taken. So what I wish to say is that I've seen students who are great in grammar, that's not a sentence to correct, and who got splendid vocabulary, someone like Shashi Tharoor, for example, or who have real connection of sentences, but not getting the required IELTS band. That could be because they have failed somewhere in task response. Because task response basically means the examiner or the IELTS exam has given you a task and have you responded to the task. If you've gone off topic, if your sentences are not relevant to the question, you don't get a score. So I shall be addressing this part of the IELTS exam on task response, where even brilliant students fail to get it right. So task response means, have you answered to the question? In short, it means, have you achieved the task? Have you answered all parts of the question? And this is where you need to develop your arguments or your points, present examples. So one of the grievances students have is that we have understood the question, we have the language, but we have a starting trouble regarding how to generate points for it. So I have a small code for you to generate your points. It's called the EMP. And EMP, if you just Google, it's funny thing because EMP is actually an electromagnetic pulse which sends out a spark. So my code also might be a spark for you to generate ideas or any essay question that can come for your IELTS exam. EMP is not just EMP, the way I have made the code. I suggest something like 2 E's, 3 M's and 4 P's. By this what I mean is, whatever essay topic you get, employ an idea web. Idea web may be familiar to people who are in management and people who are into creative sessions. It's something used for brainstorming. So idea web for your IELTS essay means that whatever question you get, if you want to generate paragraphs with points, explore different dimensions of the question. Basically, whether you consider any essay. Now I have a sample essay question for you. Imagine this is your IELTS question and you need to write 2 pages essay on this topic. You have understood the topic. It's a very straightforward, simple question. Many people are choosing to live alone. Is this positive or negative development? You have lots of ideas coming up, but then it's kind of disorganized. So what you do is employ these EMP or 2 E's, 3 M's, 4 P's to generate your ideas and to organize it very well. In that idea web, living alone, that's the main thing you need to address in this question. Is this positive or negative? And you need to arrive at an opinion. One way to explore is look at the 2 E's which I have written. One E refers to educational, another E refers to environmental. So whatever the IELTS question is, do you think there is a dimension in educational context or environmental context? For this question, for example, if a person is living alone, there is an education or learning process happening for him. A person who lives alone will definitely pick up a lot of skills because there's no one to help him out. For example, from cooking to managing or to his house, his time, housekeeping, everything will be taken care of by himself. So we can develop a paragraph if we look at this question from educational angle of view. Look at the environmental. So here it might be a plus. If you're living alone, it is a positive development. But if you look at the environment aspect, living alone is not a good choice when we come to usage of resources. When one person is living alone, there's a fan or light or air conditioner, everything for that one person. And if more and more people choose to live alone, there are these resources for these persons separately being consumed. But if they all choose to live together, they can really save on this. So with this crunch of resources being a problem with our earth itself, it might not be a good choice if more and more people are going to live alone. So we have a point in the environmental aspect. Now 3 M's refers to the moral. I have used M for anything that has to do with mechanical or technological aspect. And the monetary. I shall just finish the 4 P's little later. Now, if a person is living alone, is there anything advantageous on moral aspect, ethical aspect, or something to do with his character? If you can't generate a point there, just leave it and think about monetary, think about mechanical or technology. I think we can have a paragraph to tell about the monetary aspect. When a person is living alone, whatever crisis that comes, he needs to meet all the expenses from his own pocket. But if he's with a group of friends or with his relatives, whatever expenses can be shared by the entire group. So maybe we have a plus there. If you really stretch your imagination, probably you can say that a person becomes morally stronger, his character becomes more confident if he's staying alone. If that is so, we can have a point here. But perhaps technology and mechanical thing, you don't have a point for this particular essay topic. So it's not necessary that for whatever essay topic you have, this web yields answers for all dimensions, but definitely enough to have a full-fledged IELTS essay of 250 words. If you look at the 4 P's, 1 P refers to professional, the other P refers to people, by which I mean the social dimension, and the other PI refers to physical, basically physical health, and there is one more P which will be dealt a little later. If you look at this topic, living alone and any advantage on professional front, if a person lives alone, he or she will be able to devote a lot of time for his professional growth. He doesn't have to manage or find a balance between his family, relatives and his work. So a person who's living alone will definitely be able to put in more hours for his professional growth and he can achieve more, and in that way it's a plus point. If you look at people or social, a person living alone may tend to become gradually very self-centered to the point of selfishness. So his opportunities for sharing, for empathizing is lowered, and therefore you can say that on a people front, on a social skills aspect, it's a very negative development. From physical or health, again, if there's a medical emergency, for example, if something happens to him, his health, there's no one to take care of him and it might be very traumatic for that person. So again, we have a negative aspect here. The last P refers to psychological aspect of, or the emotional or mental aspect of any matter. For example, in this question, living alone, is this positive or negative development? You can develop a paragraph telling that it's negative development because when a person lives alone, there are more chances for him to fall into depression or despair, especially if he meets any setback in his life. On the other hand, if you're somebody who looks at it positively, you can say that there is a psychological benefit in living alone. A person will have a lot of me time, a lot of privacy, and that will help him to develop as a person. So it's up to you to adapt this EMP formula into either positive or negative development. But the point is that for whatever essay question you get, it's easy to generate points or generate content by using this simple formula. In fact, I have also seen that even for your IELTS speaking or for any speeches as such, if somebody has asked you to give a speech on any topic, this is also a good way to start getting content for your speaking matter. So in short, the EMP formula will definitely help you overcome your idea shortage in any essay question. And please leave a message or a comment if there is any essay topic you would like me to shed light on using the EMP formula. So in this episode, we have only dealt one aspect of the IELTS essay writing segment, just how to generate points, how to achieve the task response. There are lots more to discuss in an IELTS writing module session. For example, after getting these points, how to make an introductory paragraph, how to organize the remaining content paragraphs, and how to wind up the entire essay. So I shall be dealing with that later. Today's session was mainly on task response and how to generate ideas on it. Thank you for watching.